15 July, I never imagined that an ordinary morning could carry a moment that would quietly change the way I looked at life forever. When I opened my phone, my hand suddenly stopped moving for a few silent seconds. I couldn't decide whether to smile, pray, or simply stare at the screen. My heart was beating faster than usual, not because of fear, but because one unexpected message had reminded me of something I had been forgetting for far too long. It wasn't about money, it wasn't about success, it wasn't about fame. It was about something far more valuable: time. The message itself was simple. There were no dramatic words, no frightening announcement, no impossible promise. Yet every sentence carried a weight that settled deep inside my heart. It gently reminded me that life can change between one sunrise and the next, and that the people we love should never have to wait to hear the words that matter most. I slowly placed my phone on the table. The room became completely silent. Outside, nothing seemed different. Cars continued passing, birds continued singing. The wind still danced through the trees. The morning looked exactly the same. Yet, inside me, everything had changed. For the first time in a very long while, I asked myself a question I had avoided for years. If today became my last ordinary day, would people I love truly know how much they mean to me? The question refused to leave my heart. It echoed again and again until silence became the only answer. Sometimes silence teaches us more than 1,000 conversations ever could. I closed my eyes. Faces began appearing in my thoughts. The people who stood beside me when nobody else did. The people who believed in me before success ever found me. The people who forgave my mistakes without reminding me of them every day. I suddenly realized something painful. We spend so much time chasing bigger dreams that we often forget the people who quietly helped us reach them. That realization shook me, not because someone had hurt me, but because I understood how easily gratitude can be delayed. We often say, I'll call tomorrow, I'll visit next week, I'll apologize when the time feels right, I'll thank them later. But later is a promise that life has never made. Tomorrow is uh, a gift that no one truly owns. All we really have is this very moment. As those thoughts filled my heart, another lesson quietly appeared. The happiest people I have ever met were not the richest. They were not the most famous. They were not the ones with perfect lives. They were simply the people who had learned how to protect peace inside their hearts. They forgave quickly. They smiled sincerely. They appreciated ordinary moments. They understood that true wealth is measured by love, not possessions. I looked outside once more. A small bird landed gently on a nearby branch. It sang without worrying who was listening. The tree offered shade without asking who deserved it. The morning breeze touched every flower without choosing favorites. Nature has always understood something that humanity often forgets. Kindness asks for nothing in return. The sun never sends a bill for its warmth. The rain never demands applause for helping flowers bloom. The stars never compete to become brighter than the moon. Everything beautiful simply fulfills its purpose. Perhaps people were created to do the same. Perhaps our greatest success is not becoming important in the eyes of strangers. Perhaps it is becoming unforgettable in the hearts of the people we love. That thought stayed with me long after I left the room, long after the morning disappeared, long after the ordinary sounds of the day returned, because something extraordinary had already happened, not outside, inside me. I finally understood that life does not always change because of a loud event. Sometimes one quiet moment, one unexpected message, one honest question can completely transform the direction of a human heart. And without realizing it, 15 July had already become a day I would never forget. As the evening quietly arrived, I found myself thinking about that moment again. The message had disappeared from my screen, but it had not disappeared from my heart. Some words stay with us for only a few minutes. Others become a voice that gently follows us for the rest of our lives. This was one of those voices. While the sun slowly disappeared behind the horizon, I realized that every sunset carries the same quiet lesson. No matter how beautiful today was. It eventually becomes yesterday. That thought made me ask another question. What will remain after this day is gone? Will people remember the money I earned or the kindness I shared? Will they remember my achievements or the peace they felt whenever I was near? At that moment, I understood something I had never fully appreciated. People rarely remember our busiest days. They remember the moments when we made them feel seen, valued, and loved. A gentle conversation, a sincere apology, a warm embrace, a prayer offered with honesty. These are the memories that quietly outlive everything else. The world often tells us to become faster. Life gently whispers, become kinder. The world encourages us to collect more. Life quietly teaches us to give more. The world celebrates those who stand above others, but the heart finds its greatest peace when it chooses to stand beside others. As darkness covered the sky, I stepped outside once more. Thousands of stars had appeared. Not one of them was trying to outshine another. Each simply fulfilled its purpose. Together, they transformed the night into something beautiful. Perhaps that is how people were always meant to live, not by competing, not by comparing, but by allowing each person's goodness to brighten the lives around them. Then another realization found me. Many of the worries that had stolen my sleep were about things that never happen. How much time do we lose fearing tomorrow instead of appreciating today? How many smiles disappear because we are busy imagining problems that may never arrive? Peace begins the moment we stop trying to control everything. Some things become beautiful only after we place them in God's hands and continue walking with faith instead of fear. That night, I wrote a promise to myself: never delay gratitude, never postpone forgiveness, never become too busy to notice the people whose quiet love makes life meaningful. Call your parents while their voices can still answer. Visit your friends before memories become photographs. Speak kindly while hearts are still able to hear your words. Never assume another opportunity will always come, because life has never promised another tomorrow. It has only trusted us with today. The greatest surprise of 15 July was never the message itself. The greatest surprise was discovering how quickly an ordinary day can become extraordinary when a heart finally awakens. I learned that success without peace feels empty, wealth without kindness feels lonely, knowledge without humility loses its beauty, and love without respect cannot survive for long. So, if these words have somehow reached you today, do not wait for a dramatic event to change your life. Do not wait for sadness to teach you gratitude. Do not wait for loss to remind you who truly matters. Choose kindness today. Choose honesty today. Choose patience today. One gentle decision can quietly change an entire future. Before you close this message, look around you. Someone loves you. Someone prays for you. Someone is grateful that you exist, even if they have never found the words to tell. You do not let another ordinary day pass without becoming a reason someone smiles, because years from now you may forget what happened on 15 July. But if your heart learns to live with more compassion, more gratitude, and more peace, then 15 July will never truly be remembered as the day something happened. It will be remembered as the day something beautiful changed within you, had finally understood that the greatest changes are rarely seen by the eyes, they are quietly felt by the heart. As I walked through the day, I noticed something I had ignored for years. Everyone I met was carrying a story I could not see. Some smiled while hiding silent pain. Some laughed while quietly fighting loneliness. Some looked confident while secretly praying for one more chance to begin. Um, Again, it reminded me of something important. Kindness should never depend on what we know about someone, because we never truly know what another soul is carrying. That afternoon, I watched an elderly man patiently helping a small child cross a busy street. No cameras, no audience, no reward waiting at the end. Just one beautiful act of humanity. For a few seconds, the noise of the city disappeared. The rushing traffic no longer mattered. The only thing that remained was the quiet reminder that goodness still lives among ordinary people. Perhaps the world has never needed more perfect people. Perhaps it has only needed more compassionate hearts. As the hours passed, another thought quietly settled within me. We spend so much of our lives trying to become unforgettable, yet the people we remember most are rarely the richest or the most successful. We remember the teacher who believed in us, the friend who stayed during difficult days, the stranger who offered kindness without expecting anything in return, the parent whose prayers quietly carried us through seasons we never fully understood. Love leaves footprints that success can never replace. Before the sun disappeared once again, I made another promise. I would no longer measure my days by how busy I had been. I would measure them by the peace I had shared, by the hope I had given, by the hearts I had encouraged. Because achievements fade with time, character quietly remains. That evening, I wrote 3 simple sentences inside my notebook. Speak gently, forgive quickly, love sink.